So here's a fun fact that a lot of people may ask, like, oh, were we farmers before, or were we in agriculture?
And how much did you have to spend to get it up and going?
We didn't have to spend as much as we did, but we spent a good amount.
I like this question a whole lot. It says, what do you think about this reverse migration, especially within the second generation? Was it hard? It is still hard. How are you guys planning on helping the local farmers?
Of course, there's the regular corruption, middlemen, like Philippines. As small of a country it is, it's the number one consumer and importers of rice, even though they used to be the biggest.
Going live in 3, 2, 1.
Are we live? All right, we got thumbs up. Hello, I'm Cheryl, and this is Poland. If you guys aren't familiar with us yet, here we are on our first live today, which is Poland's worked really, really hard. We're at a new location in our new studio, courtesy of Stephanie Grace.
Sponsored by Stephanie Grace. So if you've been following Pursuit of Coconuts, you know that we're after a social enterprise in the Philippines, in Bohol, in the province.
Yes.
And we're focused on farming and agriculture, sponsored to build Isla Eden. And Isla Eden is an aquaponic high technology farm that's going to be a training center and inspiration center for local farmers. And we're also teaming up with other farmers to create products here in the Philippines to be sold globally. So just simply the best ingredients for the things that we'll be developing. So we are a married couple. She is a designer by trade, and I'm an entrepreneur and focused on real estate and business development by trade. So we made the move here to create a social enterprise, and these bad boys are pretty much our inspiration, coconuts.
Yes.
A little over a year and a half, we've been working on our project, and it was the Pursuit of Coconuts, and it was to pretty much embark on this journey.
It is.
Of sustainability, focusing on prosperity of the people and the planet.
Besides coconuts, there's just so many other raw goods here in the Philippines. We're here to hopefully create products for you guys to be globally.
Hopefully, we are.
We are going to produce products that we're gonna globally sell, but we're gonna start with who to take care of first, and that's really the grounds and the hands that tend to kind of the goods that we get a chance to produce things out of. And we want you guys to join on the journey.
So here's a fun fact that a lot of people may ask, like, oh, were we farmers before, or were we in agriculture? Cheryl liked dealing with houseplants. I have no experience in farming, and I don't even like gardening.
But he is a lineage. He's part of a lineage of farmers. His family in Cambodia were big farmers, and they still are. Some of his uncles and stuff are still farmers. So it's in his blood.
So our friend in California has a couple farms, and he has been an amazing blessing to us. He had a couple aquaponic farms and introduced us to this model. We learned about it before moving here, and we thought we were just going to do a small farm or a small garden for ourselves. And it turned into something that we felt the community would be inspired by, and farming is something that is needed. So we dove into it, and now we have our own farm, working through tuning it up, and we are open to really giving that away, also the knowledge of that.
So it's I like this question a whole lot. It says, what do you think about this reverse migration, especially within the second generation? Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of that. We're in a lot of conversations about people having, the yearning to be back home. It's super commendable. I mean, we did it. I'm second generation. My parents, my dad migrated to the States, and they were first generation there in the States, and they were able to raise us abroad and raise us strong enough to want to give back. That's the consensus that I get.
I think giving back is one idea. I think it also makes sense economically. I think where the world is going and the globalization of things like travel isn't as hard as it used to be. Access isn't as hard as it used to be. Internet and remote jobs make it a lot easier. And with the inflation around the world in developed countries, agendas and also just the hustle culture, like there is something authentically healthy about finding where you belong, because sometimes the hustle culture isn't for everybody. Not everybody who goes abroad is super successful, and sometimes a good living or even a below good living in the States, for example, would be a very good living here. I hope that the second generation uses their privilege and their skill sets and network to really develop something not only for themselves here, because they will find something for themselves here.
Yeah. Bring in the knowledge, bring in the wisdom, bring in the experience, but also be willing to kind of like meet people where they're at and work through that, because a lot of the things that, we might think is common sense isn't necessarily common sense to the systems here or the people here, just because they've never really been taught any other way.
Something that
Patience.
patience is because something that a lot of people have here that I feel like we traded for something else in the US is they have time and strong communities. Like, everybody is so helpful. Like, they're excited when your friend has a pig that starts to have babies, and they're just asking how you're doing. They're checking up.
Yeah.
You take a day off of work because you're tired, because you were up at night birthing these piglets, and that's like a normal thing to expect as a boss, to know that your employees are gonna have these times. So it's very humbling. It's humbling to the fact that like the simple things in life mean a lot.
Yeah. Another one of our questions. It says, how hard was it, and how much did you have to spend to get it up and going?
We didn't have to spend as much as we did, but we spent a good amount. We actually had a series on our Instagram that followed what we were doing and breaking down the costs, and we are well over $250,000, like $250,000 into it. But it's been 2 years of research, development, and trial and error. And I gotta say, any R&D new stuff is always going to be costly. So it is a high investment. We're looking at more so the community investment, but we do hope to make a good return, because we've got some really cool stuff being developed around the corner. And
was it hard? It is still hard. There's challenges. There's going to constantly be challenges. I mean, if this model would be happening over and over again if it wasn't that hard.
What did they say? Anything worth it is going to be hard.
Yes.
Because if it wasn't, then everybody would have it.
Correct. Okay, it says, what are your next steps with the farm? And what's your main produce? Will it be affordable for the locals? So we probably touched on that a little bit. So obviously the farm is an overall arching picture of kind of like a training center. There's going to be experiences there for people to come, the farm to table.
Product development. So we're now going to be focusing on how to crop things and plant things that we really want to produce for both product development and consumption and the farm to table.
So currently right now, what we're growing, we're actually selling to our neighbors, our local neighbors, and it's not even at a premium price. We're literally
we're giving it to them at wholesale price.
So essentially we're operating like our own farmers market currently right now, while we're dialing in the system, while we're creating kind of like a plan as to like what we're growing, because we haven't been consistently growing one single thing.
And we didn't want to have to meet a demand of somebody else that has something at stake. Like if a business says, I need lettuce, and we don't have that lettuce for them, or they need this. So we just produce what we have, and then the over products that we have, the overage of it, then we do like a little sale for the community, and the community gets to benefit because they get to save some money buying really good and healthy produce. And so serves us well, gives us enough money to cover some feed for the animals and fish, and keep up and maintain some of the stuff at the farm while the community benefits. So
it says, you want to see more of the coconut oil production. What's your next steps with that?
Thank you for that question.
Yes.
The coconut oil production has been a couple years of research trying to find and see which processors are making it the way that we would want to make it, meaning high value, best vitamins, and keeping the natural stuff in there without doing any crazy processing, no additives, no heating. So we finally have narrowed what we want to make, and we're going to be doing our own virgin coconut oil, and it's going to be received in our quarterly packages coming this new year. So our Patreon and our store, our Patreon will be up this month for that subscription, and that subscription is, like I said, going to go to our project. We're going to be sending you the products that we are making every quarter and planting a tree.
Yeah, cool. Okay, and then it says, how are you guys planning on helping the local farmers?
Okay, so this one runs so deep because the system over here, a few things. Farmers are aging out. They're 69 plus years old. A lot of the younger farmers aren't getting into farming because of the difficulty and natural calamities that happen in the Philippines as typhoons happen and there's more risk. There's not a lot of government assistance. They do give assistance, but it's not to the volume that's going to make it beneficial. And land ownership is like feudalism style, where big landowners allow people to farm, but the farmers don't get the big benefit of that. And then there's, of course, there's the regular corruption, middlemen, greedy middlemen. Not all middlemen are bad. Then there's cartels. And also the business of importing and exporting. The businessmen have certain deals, like rice, like Philippines. As small of a country it is the number one consumer and importers of rice, even though they used to be the biggest rice farming community. So what we're currently doing is we're training people and inspiring the young farmers to a new style of farming. So we've met with other farmers, we've showed them our farm, we've consulted with other farmers on what they're doing with their farm, trying to get them more high efficient, and also just teaching the farmers how to go direct from farming to market and cutting out the middleman. On average, a study was done and there's 7 to 9 middlemen for just a regular produce to go around. And then the other thing is they get so dependent on the middleman that if the middlemen don't buy from them or threaten them, they literally have to throw away their vegetables because it's expiring. Like it's a produce that goes to waste. So teaching them how to work with their local community and give them opportunities to work in that mode allows a broader benefit for farmers. So those are kind of the focuses: training and inspiring, consulting and giving them good ways of farming, and then teaching them how to go straight to market, which a part of that is collaborating with them. So yeah, whether you're a farmer that is wondering how you can better improve your farm here in the Philippines, whether you want to come and give us tips and get inspired and contribute, whether you're a chef and you want to dabble with the outdoor and help us with our farm to table experience, we'd love to do a lot of collaborations. We do want to go heavy on social media. It's our main way of kind of getting to our people, letting it be known, and marketing. So any collaborations out there, hit us up. We're all ears and we're willing to collaborate. We've got a team here. And if you guys want to get involved, if you guys are tired of all these products with chemicals, Isla Eden will be releasing a bunch of cool natural products. So
we're gonna go simple but high quality, and you're gonna know exactly where it's coming from. You're gonna know that it's, out of love and sweat and tears. Like, we're really fighting for the supply chain.
And if you're tired of all these big corporations benefiting off the hard work of other people, whereas our social enterprise is going to be giving back to the community and working alongside our employees to drive what God wants us to. Isla Eden is our image of Eden on this island. So
yes. And I'm going to give a shout out to the overseas Filipino workers. If you guys are finally wanting to come home and finally there's an industry or a company that can bring you guys a livelihood that you guys hope for, still living in the Philippines, support the projects here at Pursuit of Coconuts.
Yeah, and if you're a Boholano, or even more precisely, a Lobocano, and these are your people, you're going to want to support this.
Yeah.
So check out our Patreon coming up. We're going to launch it later today or tomorrow. And you're going to get some really cool stuff. You're going to support some really cool projects. And you're going to plant some really cool trees.
Yeah. Yay!
And some people would really appreciate that.
So thank you guys for tuning in on our first live. This is going to happen once every month. Crossing our fingers. It's going to happen. We have a great team. Yeah. We kind of know what needs to happen. We have a controlled environment here.
Controlled, but we turned off the AC so that it's not too loud. So now
I'm over here glistening, This ain't from the VCO. This is true glistening sweat. But we love you guys, and we hope to see you guys on the next one.
On the pursuit of coconuts.
At Isla Eden.